Hey, what's up everyone? This is K Collections, and with the Fate Zero event almost here, Iskandar's banner is nearly upon us, so I'm sure many of us went broke for Jalter, but that won't stop us players from rolling for the great King of Conquerors. So in this video, I'll be giving an overview on the servant, some strengths, weaknesses, recommendations, and if he's worth spending sync words on. Let's begin. Just so you know, according to JP, he'll have another raid up along with other limited servants on the New Year's banner. Just to clarify, this isn't the paid gacha, that will be a different banner with different servants. But I'd say expect him to be in the Thanksgiving banner, that is if we're getting that again. Here's a look at his stats. Feel free to pause the video. I will say that he has the highest attack compared to the current riders and the second highest HP amongst them. Also, once you complete his second interlude, his NP gain from attacks will increase. Now for his attack cards, he has 1 Quick, 2 Arts, 2 Buster with a Buster NP. For hit counts, Quick does 3, Arts 2, Buster 1, Extra 6, and NP 8. So, with only 1 Quick, Iskandar won't be generating a lot of stars consistently. He will have a skill to help, but it involves using his NP and third skill, meaning he won't be a reliable star generator. Also, with only 2 hits on his arts, his NP charge will suffer a bit. Now moving on to his active skills, first one is Charisma. We've seen this 1,000 times, a very simple skill but an effective one. This fits very well with his strengths. Not only that, it offers an offensive support to your team. You can never go wrong with the Charisma skill. For his second skill, it buffs your team's NP strength for a turn. Again, like Charisma, it's very simple but can greatly help your team. You should activate this when you can chain damage dealing NPs together, but using this only with Iskandar will work as well because it further enhances his damage output, which, like I mentioned before, fits well with his strengths. His last skill, it's another buff! This time, it increases his own Buster performance and increases the drop rate of crit stars. Now, leveling this skill will only increase his Buster buff, while the increase in crit stars will remain at 50%, but I mean, 50% is still really good. With his NP being a Buster and having high hit counts, it's obvious you should use this skill before his Noble Phantasm. Having a Brave Chain is most ideal, and in combination with his other skills, Iskandar can really destroy enemies. Moving on to his passive skills, first one is Magic Resistance. Again, we've seen this plenty of times, but this version is a lower rank when compared to some other servants. He does have Riding A+, which is great! If only he had more quick cards. But a 11% increase in quick performance is nothing to complain about. Lastly, he has Divinity C, which gives damage plus of 150. Now, for his amazing Noble Phantasm, which is his main strength, this is an AoE that deals damage while decreasing enemies' defense for 3 turns. After his interlude, he'll then also decrease crit chance of all enemies for 3 turns. So like I said, Iskandar's main strength is his Noble Phantasm. It's excellent for wave clearing, and with the combined buff of all 3 skills, he can deal significant damage to servants, especially in boss rush quests. Now for my final thoughts on Iskandar. He's a very simple servant. There's really no complexity when using him, but he's very efficient in what he does. The best words to describe Iskandar's role: he's a 1-turn burst damage dealer. All 3 of his active skills further enhance his damage output, ideally meant to be used before his NP attack, so it has a lot of synergy. Thankfully, his first 2 skills also boost your team's attack, so it's great that he can provide some offensive support. Also, by activating his third skill when using his Noble Phantasm, he can generate significant amount of stars, especially if you Brave Chain, due to the high hit counts on his NP and extra. And since Iskandar is a rider, his star absorption is great. Now, like I said, Iskandar is a beast when using his NP, but the cooldown period is when he suffers. Due to the low hit counts on his arts and having only 1 quick, his NP gain and star generation isn't reliable. Servants like Francis Drake, for example, who's very similar, has more versatility in her skills, specifically 2 skills to help with NP gain, while being able to gain stars upon activation. I did mention Iskandar's 3rd skill can help with star generation, but honestly, you'll be wasting it if you aren't using the skill in combination with his NP. It's far better to wait till then, the payoff is worth it. So, should you summon for Iskandar? I'd say yes. He's a very, very simple servant, but he does his job well. Now, I will also say, if you already have a strong AoE rider, like Francis Drake for example, then honestly, save your Saint Quartz. Unless Iskandar is your favorite servant, or you just want another powerful AoE rider, but he's meant to clear enemy waves, and if you already have a servant for that role, then you won't necessarily need him. For team compositions, I highly recommend servants that can help him gain NP, as you want to activate it as much as possible. Of course, you cannot have a servant overview of Iskandar without recommending Waver. I'm sure many of you actually predicted that right away. Waver is awesome, and if you saw Fate Zero, you'll know why they're such bros. Waver can increase his NP gauge, further buff his attack, and increase crit damage for when Iskandar absorbs significant amount of stars. And since Waver is self-sufficient, you can equip a 2030 with him to provide stars for Iskandar. Now, if not Waver, Anderson or Helena can help with more or less similar reasons. Now, if you want to further enhance Iskandar's strength, Nightingale can help. She can heal him when necessary, and most importantly, buff his Buster performance. Leonice can buff Buster as well, and protect Iskandar with his taunt ability. Honestly, there are a lot of combinations you could try. I actually would recommend having only one support servant and having another strong damage dealer alongside with Iskandar, simply because Iskandar can buff their attacks, and not only that, during the turns when Iskandar's NP isn't ready, you'll have another reliable offensive servant. Cee Recommendations, I highly suggest Kaleidoscope, as you'll be able to use his NP fast. Heaven's Feel for more NP damage, but I would only suggest it if you can charge his NP fast for the round. Finally, Limited Zero Order for increased Buster performance. Again, there are plenty of other CE combinations. Feel free to experiment. Well, that is my breakdown on Iskandar. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, hit that thumbs up. I appreciate the support. Subscribe to my channel for more FGO content, and follow me on Twitter for updates. Have an awesome day, everyone, and best of luck on your pulls. Let's continue the grind.